Good morning, all. Okay, from last few sessions, we are discussing related to the processing methods of the plastics. Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss two processing methods. That is a transfer molding process and rotational molding process. Okay, and these two methods we will discuss it today only in this session related to its basic principle. Then, after understanding the basic principle, uh, different steps involved in that process, then advantages, disadvantages, and particular applications of these methods we are going to discuss in today's session: transfer molding and rotational molding. Okay, first I will start with the transfer molding process. Okay, now you have to understand that these two methods generally we are using for thermostatic plastic materials. Okay, these are used for thermostatic plastic materials. Now, in the first slide, you can read it. The first point: transfer molding is a used for thermostatic material, and it is a little bit different than the compression molding. Compression molding already I have explained in the previous session only. I will take a little bit a review related to the basic principle of this process. Okay, this is the compression molding. Okay, in this compression molding, what we are doing here, mold will be there in the two halves. Okay, lower mold half and upper mold half, and here punch will be there. Okay, in the upper mold half. Then in the lower mold half, we are going to take the charge or preform. It is nothing but the raw material. Okay, preheated raw material, or we are taking that preheated preform is also, it is also known as preform, or it is also known as charge or preheated raw material. It is taken in this lower half of that mold cavity. Okay, and heating it, and after heating it with the help of this sponge or upper mold half, we are pressing it. Okay, only in short, you can say that in the first stage charge is loaded, then in the second stage charge is pressed or compressed, and it is cured. Okay, and after that in the end method, we are ejecting that component. Okay, with the help of knockout pin or ejector pin. This is the method, compression molding. Now this transfer molding is using, means little bit same concept, just slightly change is there, only one change is there. Okay, that I will explain here in the transfer molding. Okay, now this is the basic diagram for understanding the transfer molding concept. Okay, so this is your you can say that this the center part is the mold cavity here. Now in this as similar to the compression molding, here plunger will be there, plunger or punch, and here one separate chamber is provided. Okay, we are initially we are taking that charge or preheated raw material in this chamber. Okay, this is the heating chamber, or this is also termed as the transfer pot. Okay, initially we are taking raw material in this chamber, charge is taken in the transfer pot, and with the help of some heating arrangement, here some heaters are provided. With the help of these heaters, we are going to heat it. We are going to heat the charge so that it becomes soft in nature. Okay, and when it becomes soft in nature, then what we are going to do, we are going to apply the pressure with the help of this plunger. With the help of this plunger, we are going to apply the pressure. Then what will happen through this sprue? Okay, this is you can use sprue or runner, screw runner and gate arrangement. Okay, depending on the number of components you are going to manufacture, you can change it this arrangement. Okay, through this sprue, we are going to force this material. Okay, whichever raw material we have collected and we which is heated, and now it is in softened form, it will be pressed with the help of this plunger. Now it will transfer to through this sprue into this mold cavity. Okay, whichever shape and size you want for your desired product, depending on that shape, this mold cavity is used. Now through this sprue, that material will enter in this mold cavity. It will be allowed to cool. Okay, we are going to allow some time to cool it, and after cooling, okay, after cooling, with the help of this ejector pin, at the bottom ejector pin is there, and this part can be removed. Okay, this part of the cavity can be removed, and with the help of ejector pin, the final product is obtained. Okay, this is your final product. Now I will repeat this again. Okay, this is the transfer molding process. And now what we are going to do, uh, in short, you can say that it is combination of compression molding and injection molding. Okay, this charge is injected. Okay, first in the initial stage, the charge or raw material, or it is also known as preform, it is taken in the transfer pot or this heating chamber. It is initially taken in this heating chamber or transfer pot. Then it is heated with the help of heating system or heaters provided in that cavity. Okay, there heaters are provided. These rounded portion is nothing but the heaters. Okay, these are the heaters. Then due to this heat, what will happen, whichever raw material or charge you have taken, it will become soft in nature. Then after that, with the help of this plunger, we are going to apply the pressure. Then due to application of this pressure, as it has already become soft, it will flow through the this sprue. Okay, you can use sprue arrangement or some sprue runners and gate arrangements. Okay, very much similar to our casting process. That arrangement you can use here, and through this sprue it will enter in the mold cavity, and after some time it will get cured. Okay, it will get cured as it is a thermosetting material. Raw material is thermosetting in nature. After some time it will get solidified. Okay, initially when you provide it heat, it will soften, and after some time it will harden. And at the end, in the depending on the shape of your mold cavity provided, the product will be obtained. With the help of this ejector pin, you can take that product out from this cavity. So this is the transfer molding process. Now why the name transfer molding is given? Because we are taking the charge in one transfer pot, and from that we are transferring it to the mold cavity. In the compression molding, we are not doing any transfer. Okay, only in the same chamber we are doing the heating, and in the same chamber we are applying the pressure also. Okay, this is the difference between compression molding and transfer molding. Now in short, you can say that this transfer molding is combination of injection. Okay, from this charge we are, from this transfer pot charge we are injecting in the mold cavity, and due by help of this plunger, means here pressure is also applied. That's why it is combination of injection and compression molding. And generally the heating temperature range is 150 to 150 degrees celsius to 175 degrees celsius. Okay, so this is the basic concept. And that all part I have collected in this first slide. Okay, whichever part I have explained in short, all these stages I have explained here. Okay, so this is same diagram with little bit color identification I have provided here depending on the zone. Okay, for this raw material or material exact our plastic material, red color I have used here. Okay, this is the plunger. This chamber is transfer pot. Okay, this is our transfer pot. This is the plunger. Initially charge is taken in this plunger, then heating is done. After heating, this charge or preform will become soft. Then pressure is applied with the help of plunger. Then material will flow through this sprue in the mold cavity, and it will acquire the shape of that mold cavity. And with the help of ejector pin, this molded part will be removed. This will be your final product. This red color part will be your final product. Okay, Okay, now what is the advantage of this transfer molding process? Okay, over that compressor molding process. Here in transfer molding process, you can manufacture a number of components at the same time by increasing the cavities. Okay, here multi-cavity transfer molding process is also possible. Okay, here this is the holding chamber or transfer pot or heating chamber. You can also say that. Okay, here charge or raw material is taken and it is heated with the help of this heating system or heaters. Then after sufficient heating, it is heated within the temperature range 150 to 175 degrees Celsius. And when it becomes soft, with the help of this plunger, pressure will be applied. Okay, pressure will be applied. Now this softened thermosetting material, it will pass through this sprue, or you can use runner and gate arrangement also. Then here multi-cavity can also be used. Here two cavities we have used. Okay, and depending on that sprue runner gates arrangement, it will enter in that cavity. Okay, in this cavity it will enter, and this here this cooling system is provided, and after sufficient curing, that final product is obtained and it is removed with the help of these are ejector pins. Okay, for each cavity separate ejector pin you have to provide. Okay, multi cavity transfer molding process. In this diagram it is shown here. Okay, whichever chips that pla- thermosetting plastic material is there, whichever chips are there, okay, that chips are manufactured with the help of this multi cavity transfer molding process. That chips we are using in our computers. Okay, that chips are manufactured with the help of this multi cavity transfer molding process only. Okay, so this is the basic concept of transfer molding process. Now we will move towards some advantages and disadvantages and applications of this process. Okay, so these are the some advantages I have collected in this slide. Okay, what is the advantage? You can do the setup in a very less time. Okay, setup time is very less, then setup cost is also very less. Then here design flexibility is there, as this is the advantage over the compression molding process. Okay, now here as in compression molding process, okay, here you can see in the compression molding process directly, after applying the pressure, depending on this cavity shape, okay, your product shape will be there. So intricate shaped components or complex shaped components, it is very difficult to manufacture with the help of this compression molding, because you have to manufacture that shaped cavity. Okay, it is very difficult. But in this transfer molding, as we are performing the heating in separate chamber and mold cavity is separate. Okay, that's why any kind of complex shape or intricate shape can easily manufactured here. This is very good advantage in case of the design. Okay, that for as far as this use of transfer molding is concerned, you can give various shapes. Then the another advantage is here multiple cavities can be used. As I have shown in this previous diagram here, you can use multiple cavities. So the production rate rate will be more as compared to the compression molding. In compression molding, at a single time only one component can be manufactured. Okay, here you can use the multi cavities, due to which yield will be more. Yield is nothing but your production rate will be more. Then here very less or no flash will be there. Okay, as we have already discussed that what is the meaning of flash? Some extra material will remain on that product at the end of the molding process, that will be termed as flash. And in compression molding, compulsory some flash will be there. Okay, and then you have to perform some machining or trimming operations to remove that flash. But here a very minimum flash will be there, or sometimes no flash will be there. Okay, this is another advantage. And then the whichever production cycle, cycle time is there. Okay, from starting to get the end product, that total production cycle time is very less, means it is a very fast process. Then overall you will able to obtain the uniform thickness in that component. Uniform thickness can be obtained, and then dimensional accuracy will be more. Large production rate, already I have discussed this. Then maintenance cost is very less. Tool, whichever tools are there, that maintenance cost is very less, as in the compression molding. Okay, here maintenance cost will be very less as compared to the compression molding. And the next is the some disadvantages are there. Okay, whenever you are as this method can be used for manufacturing the complex shaped components. Whenever that complex shaped components you are going to manufacture, then mold design, okay, that complex mold design, it will cost more. Okay, it will cost more. Then now here, okay, as here we have provided this sprue arrangement. Okay, through this sprue runners and gates, we are transferring this material, raw material or thermosetting plastic material to the cavity. Here wastage of material will be more. Okay, some wastage of material will occur due to the sprue runners and gates arrangement is there. Okay, here clearly you can see that this is the extra material. Okay, this is the wastage of the material is more. And as we are using the thermosetting material here, this scrap, whichever waste material is there, it cannot be recycled or reprocessed. It cannot be recycled or reprocessed. This is the extra material. Okay, this is your final product. This is your final product, and whichever extra material is there in the sprue or these runners or gates, this will be wasted. Okay, so in this way wastage is more due to this sprue arrangement, and whichever scrap is formed, it cannot be recycled or reprocessed. Okay, then the next disadvantage is this overall operation could become cumbersome, as each time that charge is poured manually. Okay, cumbersome is nothing but the hectic. Okay, it will become very hectic, as each time this charge you have to pour manually. Okay, this charge you have to pour it manually here. Okay, it will become difficult. Cumbersome is nothing but it will become more difficult to do this operation manually. This is another disadvantage. Then here, while applying the pressure with the help of plunger, some air may get trapped here, and it may get transferred in the final component, and some defect may get produced. Okay, some defect may get produced, like voids or air bubbles may be there in the final component. Okay, that is another disadvantage. Then high pressures are required, and another disadvantage is its production rate is slightly slower than the injection molding. Okay, in this way, this advantages disadvantages we have learned. And after this, these are the applications. Okay, this transfer molding process can be used in the natural gas industry, electrical industry, hydraulic industry. Then some aerospace automobile parts can be manufactured with the help of this transfer molding. Then some medical composites, wind turbine blades, this bathroom fixtures, car bodies, different helmets can be manufactured. Some pictures I have collected for better understanding. Okay, these wind turbine blades nowadays, these can be manufactured with the help of this transfer molding. Okay, these wind blades can be manufactured. Then in the bathrooms, some fixtures are there. Okay, some fixtures or arrangements are there to keep that soaps, shampoos, or whichever cosmetics we are using, that we can place here. So these are the fixtures or supports. These are the bathroom fixtures. These are also manufactured by this transfer molding. Okay, then aircraft parts, complex aircraft parts. Then some boats are there. Okay, sea boats. These boat hulls are there. These boat hulls are manufactured with the help of this transfer molding only. Okay, these are wind turbine blades. Already I have discussed this. then boat hulls, then complex aircraft parts, okay, top covering of that aircraft's outer body parts in the aircraft, then in automobile industry also. And then, so this is another bathroom fixture, okay, or a wash basin, you can say that. These can be made from this transfer molding with the help of thermosetting plastic materials. Then different kinds of the helmets, then aerospace and automobile parts, okay, these all can be manufactured with the help of this transfer molding process, okay. These are few applications: wind turbine blades, bathroom fixtures, aircraft parts, boat hulls, and then automobile parts, some helmets, bathroom fixtures, okay. So after this, we will move towards the rotational molding process. If you are having any query, you can ask me. Okay, now we will move towards the next molding process, that is rotational molding process, okay. Now this rotational molding process is also known as rotomolding, okay, rotomolding process. And with the help of this rotational molding process, the hollow components, hollow parts can be manufactured, okay, hollow parts with very high quality surface finish and uniform thickness. These can be manufactured with the help of this rotational molding process. For one practical example is whichever storage, water storage tanks are there. Okay, water storage tanks are there. These are manufactured with the help of this rotational molding process only. Okay, and sometimes this question will be there in the MCQs. Okay, in your test, this question will be there. Rotational molding process is a few four options I will give you, and correct answer will be it is a high temperature, low pressure forming process. Okay, this question I have asked in your test also. Okay, rotational molding is a high temperature, low pressure forming process. Okay, now here how this rotational molding is conducted, that I will explain with the help of this diagram. Okay, this is the diagram here. Steps are mentioned in this diagram. Okay. So this is the in this diagram you can understand the stages. Generally four stages are there. Okay, first stage is charging. Okay, charging, then heating, cooling, and demolding. Okay, in the first stage, the generally we are using thermosetting material. Sometimes you can go for thermoplastic material also. Generally we are using thermosetting material. This thermosetting material is taken in the powdered form. Okay, this is the your mold cavity. Here we are taking that raw material or our charge or that thermosetting preform in the form of a powder, and then this mold. This is the first charging stage. Then it is closed. This mold cavity is closed. Okay, it is closed. Okay, and this depending on the final shape we required for that product, depending on that only we have to take the choose the design of this mold cavity. Okay, whichever final shape you want, that shape you have to give to this mold cavity. Okay, then initially, and it is made in such a way that it can be divided in the two halves. And in the first half, uh, we have to take the raw material in this in the form of a powder. This is also known as charge preform, and generally we are using thermosetting plastic materials. It is taken in the powder form. Then this mold cavity is closed in the second stage, and it is heated. Okay, here in this second stage, we are heating it, and we are rotating this mold cavity. Okay, through these two arrangements. Okay, in this direction and in this direction also, you can say that along this x-axis and along y-axis. Biaxially it is rotated. Biaxially it is rotated means heating is provided and simultaneously it is rotated. Now what will happen due to heating? This powder will melt, or it will become soft. It will soften, and due to the rotation what will happen? This powder will be thrown at the corners. Okay, it will get thrown at the corners due to the continuous rotation, biaxial rotation. This powder, due to the heating, it will soften, and it is due to this rotation it will be thrown at the corners. Through each corner it will get thrown due to the, and it will get attached to this wall, mold wall. Okay, whichever wall of that cavity is there, through that wall it will get attached due to the heating and continuous rotation. Due to heating it will become soften, and due to that rotation it will get thrown at the wall cavity, and it will get attached to this wall cavity. And due to biaxial rotating, uniform layer will be obtained. Okay, in this way uniform layer will be obtained of that material. And after that cooling will be done. Generally air cooling is used. Sometimes you can use water cooling also, but water cooling is avoided. Because of the water cooling, distortion may be there. Okay, distortion may occur, which shape and size will get uh, changed of that particular cavity or our part. That's why generally air cooling is done. And after the cooling, we are going to that thermosetting material will get cured, and this mold cavity is removed and final product is obtained. This removing process is termed as the demolding process. Okay, this is our final product here. In this way, with the help of this rotational molding, hollow parts can be obtained. Large hollow parts can be also obtained, like water storage tanks. Okay, so in these four stages this rotational molding process is completed. Initial first is charging, then heating, and or biaxial rotating or rotation operation will be there. Then cooling will be there, and in the last stage demolding will be done, and final product is obtained. In this way this rotational molding process is performed. If you are having any query, you can put that query in the chat box. If all points are clear, you can also put that in the chat box. Okay, whichever steps I have explained, that only I have collected in this slide. Okay, this rotational molding process is also known as a rotomolding process. This rotomolding process is used for hollow parts that require high quality surface finish and uniform wall thickness. It is a high temperature and low pressure forming process. A hollow mold okay, process will be there in this 4 5 points. The steps are explained here. A hollow mold is filled with the powdered plastic resin. This is the charging stage. Then mold is heated and rotated biaxially. Okay, this is the heating and rotation stage. In the third stage, what exactly occurring there in the second stage that they have explained here, the mold continues to rotate, and whichever resin melt is there, that is powder particle in the softened form or in the molten form, they will get attached to the walls of the mold. Means one coat, it coats the walls of the mold, one coating will be formed or a layer will be formed. Then the mold is cooled until that resin is nothing but your charge or your raw material. It hardens into the desired shape, and generally cooling is done by air medium or water medium, but largely we have to go for air cooling only, because due to the water cooling, some distortion and the and that final dimensions may occur. That's why this water cooling is generally avoided. Air cooling is used. Then rotation is stopped and that mold is opened, and the final finished product or part is obtained. This is the rotational molding process. These are the steps involved in the rotational molding process. Now after this we will see the advantages, disadvantages, and few applications. If you are having any query, you can put that in the chat box, or if all points are clear, you can mention that in the chat box also. The point is clear, I will move forward. All students are listening. Aniket Pawar. Aniket Pawar, are you there? Aniket Pawar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, whether all points are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other student? Shubham Kakade. Shubham, are you there? Shubham Kakade, are you there? Am I audible? Shubham. Shubham, am I audible? Kindly unmute yourself and provide, give some reply. Shubham Kakade. Okay, yes, I think he left the meeting or some network issues may be there. And then Shubham Kakade. Shubhda Maitre. Shubhda Maitre.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah, all points are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Omkar. Omkar Gund. Omkar, are you there? Omkar. Omkar Gund. If I am audible, please provide me reply. Okay, some network issues may be there, or okay, we will move forward then. Okay, after this basic concept of rotational molding process, then at the end you have to add some points related to the advantages, some disadvantages, and some applications. Okay, number of applications. Advantages. we will as here in this process we are using very low pressures. Okay, that's why the tooling cost is very less than consistent wall thickness, as we are doing the constant rotation constant rotation and due to the proper heating and cooling, uniform wall thickness is obtained. Then here, double wall construction means some complex double walled open containers can also be produced, okay, without any secondary processing. Double walled open containers can also be produced. Then whichever components are manufactured with the help of this rotational molding process, these are having very high durability, or their life is very high, or you can say that they will last for 20 years or 30 years, like that. Whichever water storage tanks we are using for storing the water in our home also, you can clearly see that they may last for 20, 30 years easily. They are having high durability, and their stability is also high. They are having high durability, high stability, means they does not get there will not be any kind of the change in their shape and size due to the external factors. Life is more, then they will provide more stability, and their strength is also very good, or very high strength will be there. Due to the high strength, the risk of the failure is very less due to in these components. Then appearance is very good, as due to this rotational molding process, very high surface finish can be obtained. Due to that, it's you can say that the you can give the very good or attractive appearance to these components with the help of this rotational molding process. So these are the advantages. Okay, low cost of tooling, then consistent or uniform wall thickness, then double walled open containers can also be manufactured. Then whichever products are manufactured, they will provide you high durability, high stability, high strength, and very good appearance. These are the advantages. The next point is the disadvantages of this rotational molding process. Okay, now here you can say that the cycle time is little bit on the higher side. Cycle time or processing time to manufacture one component, it is more as compared to the other processes. Okay, then for limited materials only you can use this process, as whichever raw material we are taking it in the powdered form. So for only limited materials we can convert that into the powder. That's why it is limited to some specific polymers only, or specific plastic materials only, because here we must be able to convert that polymer material or plastic material into the fine powder, and some thermal stability is also required, as we are heating it here. Okay, heating it, and we are rotating it also. Okay, the next point is whichever raw material is there, it as it requires high thermal stability in that raw material. Whichever raw material is there with that high thermal stability and which can be converted into powdered form, it will be costly. That material will be costly in nature. And then repeatability of the process is very low, and the labor cost is very high. Okay, as here the automation is not yet possible in this rotomolding process, the skilled laborers are required or workers are required, it will cost more. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of rotational molding process. Then we will move towards the last point, that is the applications. Now in the applications, water tanks. Okay, different shaped and different size water tanks with different shape and different size here. Okay, rounded shape, cylindrical shape, you can say that, in a rectangular shape, square shaped, different shapes and having different size, large sized, small sized, all types of the water tanks you can see here. This can be manufactured with the transfer molding process. Then these are the military utility box. Okay, military utility box, which is hollow in the nature, hollow in the nature. Okay, this is utility box, or it can, you can say that the military, it will act, you can use it for storing the helpful material here only. Okay, military utility box. Then urea tank, whichever tanks are there, with the help, these are manufactured with the help of thermosetting materials only. Okay, this is the urea tank, gas tanks. Then this is the nowadays these fuel tanks for two wheelers. The fuel tanks can be manufactured with the help of this transfer molding process only. Okay, urea tank, gas tank, or fuel tanks, these are used for two different vehicles, in the different vehicles to store the fuel. Then these are the road barriers. Okay, to control the traffic and all these things, some road barriers are there. These road barriers are manufactured with the help of this transfer molding process only. Then in the garden, you can say that for the children, their slides are there. These are slides, children slides, or in various amusement parks are there. These slide, whichever slides are there, these are the slides on which children can play. These slides are made up of from this transfer molding process only. Then different kinds of the crates, these are the crates. Then pallets, these crates are used for storing or carrying the vegetables or fruits from one place to another place, or in the storing also, you can store the fruits, vegetables here only. These are pallets. You can carry the material on this. Then dustbins, different colored dustbins with different shapes, and this will be hollow in nature. These are manufactured with the help of transfer molding only. Then some kayaks and boats. These are the diagram. These are the kayaks. Okay, these are used for the boatings. Okay, these are simple boats. These are kayaks. Okay, kayaks, then boats. These are all manufactured or made with the help of this transfer molding process only. Then uh, another application. This is the toilet. Okay, the mobile toilet. You can say that you can, or movable toilet. You can move it from one place to another place. Then this fertilizer box. Okay, these kinds of toilets nowadays are becoming very popular. Okay, then these fertilizer box is there. Fertilizer box, it is used in your agriculture field. These are manufactured with the help of this transfer molding only. So number of applications are there. Few applications I have highlighted here: this fertilizer box, mobile toilets, then these kayaks and boats, crates, pallets, dustbin. These are the crates, these are pallets, these are dustbins. Then road barriers, children slides, then different tanks, urea tank, gas tank, fuel tank, military utility box, then water storage tanks. All these are manufactured with the help of this transfer molding process only. Okay, in this way, okay, we have complete. I will just summarize today's session. In today's session, we have started with the transfer molding process. We have learned the different stages involved in the transfer molding process, and we have learned its principle, schematic arrangement of transfer molding process, and its basic working principle. Then we have seen the multi-cavity, how the multi-cavity transfer molding process is performed, and advantages of transfer molding process, disadvantages of transfer molding process, its application in various fields, some products manufactured by using this transfer molding process. Then rotational molding process, we have learned its concept of stages involved in manufacturing a product by using this rotational molding process. It is also known as a rotomolding process. And then its advantages, disadvantages, and some applications like water tanks, utility boxes, different tanks, road barriers. It creates pallets, dustbins, kayaks, and boats. Then fertilizer box, mobile toilets, etc. Okay, if you are having any query, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will stop this session here only. In the afternoon session, I will send the test. Compulsory, please obtain it, attend it, and your attendance is mandatory for it. Okay, please attend that test, solve that test. Okay, today only. Okay, if all points are clear. Okay, in this way, this chapter is completed. Second chapter is completed. In the next session, test will be conducted. It is compulsory for all. Okay, those who have remained to give their presentee, you can put that in the chat box. I will stop here. Okay, in this way, this processing of the plastics chapter is completed. One concept is there, that is thermoforming, that I will take in the next session. Okay, that will be for your detailed information only. Thermoforming concept is there. Some that content beyond syllabus, I will take that point, thermoforming. Okay, in this way, this processing of plastic chapter is completed. Okay, in this we have studied injection molding, extrusion molding, blow molding, then calendaring concept. Then after that, compression molding, transfer molding, and rotational molding we have completed. Only that thermoforming process is left. That will be the content beyond syllabus point that I will take in the uh, Monday session or tomorrow session. And in today's afternoon session, I will conduct the test on this chapter only. Please attend that test. Okay. In this way, the second chapter, processing of the plastics, will be finished. Okay, tomorrow one session will be there. After that, it will be finished. But you can attend the test. Only these much syllabus I have covered in the test. Only 10 questions will be there. Okay. Now I will stop here. Thank you for attending this session. Thank you.